There is good news on the safety front on Indian roads. Traffic violations of almost all kinds will invite huge penalties for motorists in India as we have a new updated Motor Vehicles Act. Motown India brings to you some of the very important amendments and proposals in the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2019 that have been cleared as part of the new Act. Any juvenile, that is any youngster under the age of 18 caught driving cars and riding motorized two-wheelers will get into deep trouble. Not only them, but their guardians as well, and owners of vehicles shall be deemed to be guilty in case of a juvenile committing an offence. Rupees 25,000 penalty with 3 years imprisonment have been proposed for such an offence, while the juvenile will be tried under the Juvenile Justice Act. The registration of the motor vehicle too will be cancelled according to the new provision under Section 199. Another new provision, 194E, envisages that a fine of Rs 10,000 will be levied on any vehicle driver for not providing way for emergency vehicles. That means any person obstructing an ambulance, a police car, or a fire brigade, or any other government emergency vehicle will land in deep trouble. Here is a list of the new minimum penalties. If you travel without a ticket in any of the government buses like DTC in Delhi, the fine is now Rs 500. If you argue and or not listen to the traffic or police authorities, the fine is now Rs 2,000. Any unauthorized use of vehicles without license will invite a penalty of Rs 5,000. If you are driving a vehicle without your license, then the penalty is now Rs 5,000, up from a meager amount of Rs 500. Once you are disqualified for driving for whatever reason, but you continue to drive a vehicle, the penalty is now Rs 10,000, up from Rs 500. Dangerous driving penalty has gone up to Rs 5,000 from Rs 1,000. Drunken driving that earlier attracted a penalty of Rs 2,000 will now attract Rs 10,000. Driving without your insurance will now invite a Rs 2,000 penalty. Speeding or racing on normal roads will now invite a penalty of Rs 5,000, up from Rs 500. A vehicle plying on roads without permit will now attract a penalty up to Rs 10,000. A new provision has been added in Section 193, which says that aggregators, which include taxis, if they were to violate the licensing conditions, will have to pay a penalty of Rs 25,000 to Rs 1 lakh. Please wear your seatbelt while driving, and that means everyone in the vehicle, including the driver and the passengers. Any violation on this front will invite a penalty of Rs 1,000. A very small penalty for such a serious safety hazard, we feel. Moreover, it's seldom that we see policemen in police cars, or ambulance drivers, or fire engine drivers, or drivers of state transport buses wearing seatbelts. We want to know whether this law is applicable to them also. Those not wearing helmets while riding two-wheelers will now invite a penalty of Rs 1,000 and disqualification of license for 3 months. This is interesting because more than 70% of two-wheeler riders and pillion drivers do not wear helmets in cities and small towns in India. Forget about villages. Under Section 210B, offences committed by enforcing authorities will invite twice the penalty under the relevant section. Apart from all the hefty fines, the new Act has also covered a lot of other areas relating to automobiles and people. Protection of Good Samaritan. To help road accident victims, Good Samaritan guidelines have been incorporated. A Good Samaritan is defined as a person who renders emergency medical or non-medical assistance to a victim at the scene of an accident and provides rules to prevent harassment of such a person. But Motown India has a major reservation here. One should desist from being a good Samaritan foolishly. Ordinary people are not trained to deal with road accident victims. Simply carrying them by the hands or legs to a safe place is not enough. How to carry or shift them is more important, or else your good Samaritan move can leave the victim paralyzed or with serious injury. Motown India has a few questions for the government. Has the government considered fines for jaywalkers and those obstructing traffic? What about the cows and animals on the road which wander aimlessly in the middle of the roads? This is dangerous. What about religious processions in vehicles or political rallies in vehicles? Do they have to adhere to the laws of the land? Then you have rickshaws and jugaads of all kinds. Are they legal to ply on the roads and obstruct traffic? The government needs to give this a serious thought. While Motown India appreciates the stricter rules for traffic violations, the issues we think are more about the chalta hai attitude of road users, the lack of enforcement of the laws, and the rampant corruption prevailing in this sector when it comes to enforcing the laws. So can we look forward to a safer world now? We all have to wait and watch.